Alright, so, like most of my speeches, I like to begin with a story. And this time it's a personal one. So, I was 24, and I just finished a grad school program overseas, and I was back home for the summer. And I was under a heck of a lot of stress. The most stress I've ever been in my entire life. I had to decide if I was going to go to med school in the fall, or to transition completely and do more economics or business. And the gravity of this choice that I had to make that would affect the course of the rest of my life tore me in two. I had 3 days of insomnia just thinking about this. I bounced a tennis ball off the wall for 8 hours, and I had no idea where the time went. And on top of this, I was dating a girl at the time, and we were breaking up, and so like that was also stressing me out. And plus, I know, that's what and plus, like other things were blowing up, and so like I had to handle it. So it was just a perfect storm of all these unfortunate events. And my mom, for some reason, was on a blood pressure kick, and she's like, "Mone, I want to check your blood pressure." So I'm like, "All right." So she checks my blood pressure, and sure enough, it's through the roof. Right? She's like, "Mone, your blood pressure's too high." And I was like, "Yeah, I know, Mom. I'm just under a lot of stress. But after a while, you know, once I get past this part of my life, things will be okay again." And sure enough, as a word mother, she checks every single day for a week, and every day it was high. And so one day, I was upstairs, I was sitting on the piano bench, and I was reading The Watchmen. And I came across this one passage, and it filled me with such incredible peace that I stopped reading, I looked up, and I saw my mom walking up the stairs. And I said, "Mom, check my blood pressure." And so she's like, "Okay." And so she checks it, and it drops like 30 points, and it's normal again. And this is what I read. So in The Watchmen, there's a character called Dr. Manhattan, and he's quite possibly the only true superhero in the entire story. And he has the most amazing powers. He can make himself as small as an atom, or as big as a planet. He can conjure anything out of nothing or destroy things at will. He can transport himself to any point of the universe instantaneously. He can see time, past, present, and future all at once. And for all intents and purposes, he is nearly godlike. And he's talking to his wife. And he says, "I have seen everything there is to see in this entire universe. But there is one thing that I long to see, a thermodynamic miracle." And she's like, "What's that?" And he's like, "It's an event whose probability of occurring is astronomically impossible. And yet it happens anyway. Like oxygen spontaneously turning into gold. I long to witness such an event." And then he says, "And yet, in every human coupling, millions of millions of sperm vie for a single egg. And you multiply those chances upon your mother, meaning your father. You multiply those chances upon your grandfather, meaning your grandmother, and sawing that perfect son, or that exact daughter. And you multiply those chances upon the countless generations that came before. And out of that chaos of improbability, the chances of you being alive right here, right now, is astronomically impossible. Like oxygen spontaneously turning into gold. And yet here you are anyway. You are the crowning unlikelihood, the thermodynamic miracle. For your life, rarer than a quark and unpredictable beyond the dreams of Heisenberg. You are the clay in which the forces that shape all things show its fingerprints most clearly." And I think when I read that, it filled me with such incredible peace because it helped me to take a step back and look at the big picture and realize that I was lucky to even have the problems that I was having. I mean, we all have our own crosses that we need to bear, but in a way we're lucky to even have the opportunities to even bear them. And I know when we're in this tournament, and all our thoughts and all our minds and all our will is focused on the outcome of every game, and we dwell and we get frustrated over the things that could have been. It's good to take a step back and to remember that we have each won the most impossible tournament of all. Out of the trillions and trillions of children that could have been, it was only you that was given this gift of life. And all we have to do, while we have it, is to decide what to do with the time that has been given to us. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to be judged on how many trophies we get, but on how much love we gave. That's it.